Hey everyone, this is Shelisa Bainbridge, your leadership coach. Today I will be answering a question I get all the time, which is, what is Agile? So let's get into it. Welcome to my YouTube channel, the place where you will be able to find the training and coaching that you need to help propel your career forward. So what is this thing called Agile? Usually when people think Agile, they think stickies, they think Sharpies, they think things written on stickies and posted on the wall, and they think usually about people standing around those stickies having a conversation, right? So yes, all of those things are usually things you'd find to be true in an Agile environment. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about in this video specifically is where Agile actually came from and what it actually refers to. So let's go back to 2011. 2011, a group of about 17 people took off on a little skiing trip in Utah to have some fun, relax, and talk about stuff. And one of the topics that came up among that group is, hey, how do you guys feel about the way that software is being developed today? That evolved into a longer conversation around there's got to be a better way to do this, right? As this conversation evolved, they started to talk about the stuff that they felt weren't really working in the way that software was being developed currently. So then they said, okay, if that's the stuff that's not really working today, how would we like it to work? Out of that conversation continued to evolve principles and values that were documented and put together in what is known as the Agile Manifesto. So let's start with the values. The first value is that individuals and interactions are higher valued than processes and tools. I make that distinction because it's not to say that processes and tools are not of any value. It's just that individuals and interactions are valued at a higher rate. So that human connection and conversations are actually much more valuable than adhering to a process and sticking with certain specific tools. The second value is that working software is actually of higher value than awesome documentation. Again, it's not that documentation is not important, but working software is of higher value. In other words, let's spend more time creating stuff and testing stuff and showing it to our customers instead of going in deep and documenting every single thing that we're doing. The third value is that customer collaboration is of higher value than contract negotiations. And I love this one. So what this one means is the solution to the problem for the customer is really important. Co-designing with the customer to understand what we're solving for is critical. And it's much more important to be able to do that than it is to be able to negotiate terms and contracts with the customers. The fourth value is about responding to change. So responding to change is of greater value than following a detailed plan step by step. This is a very important one as well. In an Agile environment, the responsiveness and the ability to adapt and be nimble is very, very critical to the success of delivering something of value to a customer. So those are the four values that were written in the Agile Manifesto. Don't worry if you weren't able to take notes. I will put a link below to the actual PDF that I've created that lists the values and the principles. Okay, so let's get into the principles. There are 12 principles in total, and I won't go through all of them here in this video. What I will do is pull out a few of my favorites, and I'll share those with you. One of my favorites is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery. What this means is that don't make your people wait. Don't make your customers wait months and months and months for the thing that you're trying to build and deliver. Take that thing, break it up into pieces, and deliver value incrementally. My second favorite principle is that business teams and technical teams need to work together. Believe it or not, I know that sounds probably a little obvious, but when I've worked with large organizations, you'll have the business people working in one area of the building or even the city, and the technical people working somewhere else, and they're not actually collaborating on the best possible way to solve the problem for the customer. The business SMEs really understand what the customer is actually requiring out of the solution, and the technical SMEs understand how to get us there. So if you have all of those people collaborating and working together, you're gonna have a winning solution. The third principle, again, that I love, I'm a talker, is face-to-face conversations. This is amazing, guys. Like, you know what? If you're only communicating through email or through documents, you're going to run the risk of missing a ton of really important information. Like, why are you building this thing in the first place? Who are you building it for? What's the problem you're trying to solve? When you have face-to-face conversations, you'll find that your language is simplified, you're able to draw stuff if you can't articulate it verbally, and really visualize kind of the ultimate solution. Face-to-face communication and interaction is key. My fourth favorite one is team reflection. I know everyone's busy, I know calendars are full, but one important principle within the Agile Manifesto is to find the time within your team to look back on the week or the last 2 weeks and talk about how it went. What went well? What didn't go so well? And the outcome of those conversations should be, okay, we'll keep doing this stuff. Here's how we're going to improve and adjust this stuff. So over time, as you continue to reflect with one another, you're going to end up with a system that is all about improvement, which ultimately leads to quality software out the door. There is one more that I'd like to mention. I won't go into it in detail in this video. I'll save it for another video. And it is the topic of simplicity and maximizing the work not done. There's a bit more to unpack there. So as I said, I'll save it for another video, but I wanted to share it with you still as one of my favorites. At this point, we know that Agile has stemmed from the Agile Manifesto, which is comprised of 4 values and 12 principles. So now let's take a step forward and talk about what Agile is not. Some of you might be a little bit mind blown, but Agile is absolutely not a methodology. We see it all the time. We get asked to come in and talk about the Agile methodology. It's actually not a methodology. Again, it's the values and principles that underpin other tools and techniques. So it's not a methodology. It's not a framework, guys, stop saying those words. And it's not a process. And it's not a way to make software. In addition to that, what I would also say is that although the Agile Manifesto was designed around this whole notion of software development and how can we do this differently, I promise you, it's equally as applicable to any solution that you are trying to build. Thank you for watching my video today. I'd love to get feedback from you in the comments below. And remember, as your coach, I am here for you. I believe in you. Now go show them what you're made of. So let's talk about this thing called Agile. There's a fly on the camera. Ew. The principles, 12, there are 12 of them, by the way. One of my personal favorites. I had touched my mic. Oh. I know. Okay. So Agile is Agile came. At this point, I'd like you to continue, damn it. Thank you for watching this video. I'd love to get feedback from you in the comments below. I believe in you. I support you. Now go show them who you're made of. Not who you're made of.